called Instant Culture, Architecture and Urbanism as a Collective Process, and it's a very large volume of exhibition, installations, and very critical essays about the role of instant culture in Asia, specifically Hong Kong and Pearl River Delta. And it's also a collection of works from the last Hong Kong Biennale, located at the West Kowloon Cultural District.
Where you were curators.
Yeah, where we are curators of. And what's really nice is sort of projections and future ideas about how the city and culture play a role in the region. We have very exciting writings from like Ram Koolhaas, David Jean-Netten, all the way to Lars Nifte, who's the new executive director of M+, the new sort of visual arts museum in Hong Kong. And we explore different ways of talking about social sustainability as a concept, all the way to participation of the city, role of the public and audience into shaping cities, and a very large component of ecology and the way education and design education can really be activated more in the role of cultural development in one sense.
So we're really questioning who our audience really is. Often these international biennales, it really attracts architects and some of the general public. We're trying to open it up to like very young kids, age 5 to 10. And then other events were really geared towards a little bit older, all the way down to events that were hosted really for retirees and people who had almost never seen art before in their lives. So people from the local neighborhood, very old neighborhoods and fabrics inside Hong Kong. And we were doing events on the waterfront that would really get people together. And in Hong Kong, there aren't that many outdoor events, although it's an incredibly beautiful climate most of the year, and except that it generates too much noise. And on the waterfront, you have no real neighbors to disturb, and so we had all kinds of bands and events, and really finding different ways to bring people in. And so the Biennale as a structure, the exhibitions were only one small component. It was really about the events that happened all the way through. And as a general concept for the book as well, is how we can get more and more people involved. And so it isn't just the architects who are participating, but also people like the lawyers and how they might interface, or a father and son team to do something, and really think about how this area of collaboration could work among different disciplines for international event as well.
It's a book published by MCCM Creations, which is a very famous local publisher, but it's funded by the Hong Kong Arts Development Council. But of course, it's a self-initiated project because we wanted to document the process-driven event biennale we did at the kind of future West Kowloon Cultural District site, but at the same time ask a lot of big, important questions relating to culture and oftentimes everything we feel in Hong Kong or China or technology today is so interconnected, right? Like design boom, you can throw up an image and you really understand what's happening in the other side of the world. So we're slightly rethinking what does it mean to have this concept of instant culture? How do we plan or build or design better in a state of instantaneous cities where things happen very fast? But how do you reimagine the possibilities of rethinking issues of luxury? What does it mean? How do you build better collaboration structures? How do we imagine the quality of craft? We build so much in Hong Kong and Asia and China and Shenzhen, but what does that mean back to the kind of human side of society? So it's a kind of a very broad book, touching upon on a very general overview, but it really highlights many architects or designers or policymakers or even farmers' position on how they think their city is. So it's a very interesting kind of cross-section. It's a book that is somewhat critical but masked in a very mass audience, and it hopes to engage different communities through the book, right? So but at the same time, I think my anecdote is probably it really tries to refuse conclusion. Like it's not meant to be conclusive, it's meant to be opening up even larger, wider discussions. So I think it's a fun book, but if you read between the lines, it's a very serious book too. I think luxury can deal so much with time. We take things for granted, and it really makes us rethink. I think mainly the issues of efficiency, time, sort of the kind of power structures, and rethinking luxury may not be like overconsumption or how do we make those structures meaningful. I think that's the kind of crux of it, right? And everyone has a different way of understanding luxury.